Eagles are the better team. I can't say it any other way.
I don't really think everybody knows what they're about to witness.
I know talent when I see one. I should be an NFL scout.
Jonathan, I don't like that pick. I love that pick.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate Podcast. Now, it is about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right before the Sunday night game, and we are going to hop on here. We got the whole crew this time for our Week 2 instant reactions. A lot of great games, a lot of close games. The most recent game that just ended was the Broncos and Commanders game, and there was a huge Hail Mary completion by Russell Wilson and the Broncos. They went all the way, got the touchdown, but could not get the 2-point conversions, and the Commanders win. Jonathan, that was your upset. You picked Commanders, so you went 2-0, and you're locking upset pretty good. Were you a little freaked out at that Hail Mary pass? Were you watching that?
I actually missed that ending. I saw Caleb's text. Caleb was like, "Oh my Wilson!" I was like, "Oh crap, what just happened?" I pulled up my phone, and then I was like, "Okay." I saw the game ended, and they didn't get the 2. I was like, "All right, perfect." But that kind of scared me, Caleb. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Because we forget that Russell Wilson. We said this all last year, but like he did tank last year, but he is also one of the all-time greats in fourth quarter comebacks, even surpassing Brady statistically when they were both in the league at the same time, just in certain metrics. So I was like, part of me watching this game, I was like, all right, if it's going to start clicking, if Wilson's back, quote unquote, and what, maybe not the peak of what he always was, but if Peyton's there, you got the new coaching and everything, this is the moment where it's going to be, you're going to see that flash of greatness. And, they didn't get the 2-point, but you got to see that, Hail Mary landed on like the 5-yard line, and then
it got tipped 3 times.
Got tipped into the end zone, and a Bronco caught it, which it was like insane. It was the clock run out too, so it was incredible. And yeah.
Well, see, I'm in the same boat, Jonathan, because John and I just started getting ready for the podcast. We're like, Commanders, Broncos.
Exactly.
It's
because
over.
Red Zone ended, so and they throw it back to the local channel. So I'm like, all right, that's the games are over.
No.
If Scott's not there, then I'm not watching. If Scott Hansen's not watching, then it must not be a good game.
In today's NFL, you can't stop watching a game.
You can't turn it
off.
off.
5 minutes left.
Well,
anything can happen.
Yeah. Even today, there was I think he said it right before halftime, like the number of games that went right into the end zone at the last. There were so many down to the wire, at least for the half. For halftime.
Oh, yeah.
So that means some of the games are low scoring, but it's fun to it's not over till it's over.
Yeah, it was a great slate of games, great endings on a lot of them. We'll just start jumping around to some of these games right now. We're talking about, last second plays, close games. Giants Cardinals.
Yes,
John,
thank you for starting with this.
You gotta let it out. I have to say one thing though. I did call it. They were down 21 something. Yeah, it was 21 points.
Well, it was 20-0 at half, and
Cardinals were up.
Cardinals were up, and Jared goes, "John, Giants are gonna win this." I'm like, Jared, we haven't. I'm like, Jared, do you realize that through 6 quarters we've let up 60 points and we've scored 0? What makes you think we're going to score more than 21 points right now? Oh. I'm like, no, it's over. This team's done. I'm writing them off. Like, I can't do it anymore. And then first drive out of halftime, we go down. Daniel Jones gets a rushing touchdown, and we start the comeback. I still honestly didn't think we were going to be able to come back because I think it was like 28-7 at one point, and then 28-14 started coming back. But I mean, what a way for the Giants to fight back. I mean, using Hyatt, finally got the deep ball going the first play after halftime, getting him a 58-yard catch. Got Waller involved, Saquon getting 2 touchdowns being used out of the backfield, and Jones running the ball. I mean, Daniel Jones was the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football, and not that we should judge his performance based on fantasy points, but he did have a great week compared to a lot of other quarterbacks out there. So just a great finish by the Giants.
Yeah, John, not so fast.
Okay, why?
Look, impressive comeback by the Giants. I'll give them that, but the Cardinals were winning by a big amount at halftime. So what does this tell you? The Cardinals are really tanking the season.
Whoa.
That's what this tells you. It's not like they were trying the hardest and the Giants came back. No, this tells you they're like, okay, we know we can score, but actually,
did you see Josh Dobbs? I mean, Dobbs. He's a freaking.
He's
good. He's not anything like trash. He's not bad.
Yeah, I think the coaches probably thought he was going to be bad, but he's actually not bad. So they're like at halftime, they're like, all right, hey, we know you're
It's like-
playing good, but take it slow. We're trying to tank.
Jonathan,
okay?
you know they
Don't
weren't. You
try
know
too
they
hard.
didn't say that.
Let
They
me-
can't do
let me
that.
tell you
Colt
this.
McCoy was good. Why
Players, you can't say that.
they let Colt McCoy go? Colt McCoy is good. They let him go.
That
And they got
decision
hit
was
this
made
guy.
a month ago. What are you talking about? The
They-
second half of
they
this
are
game,
trying to tank.
They didn't
The
cut
Giants
Colt
can't-
McCoy
like-
at halftime.
they're
They're
trying
making
to
room for a new quarterback.
They're
like,
making
ahead of
room for
schedule.
Caleb Williams. Jonathan,
Thank you.
that is
Yes.
the exact reason why I said the Giants were going to come back. Last week, week 1, it was Commanders against Cardinals. Cardinals were up 14-0 against the Commanders in Washington. And what do? They lose. So they're just testing out the waters. They're testing out their
Exactly.
players. They're seeing who they have. This is an audition. And in the first half,
you.
they're like, okay, we
No.
have a team. We
have a
get
team.
Marvin
No, we
Harrison Jr., we get Caleb Williams. This is a good team right here. So that's what they were doing. That first half, they test everyone out. They see what's going on. They say, yeah, this is a winnable game. We could easily crush the Giants, but we're going to let them win because we need that first pick. We're not going to
Caleb,
do
you
a
hear this
Texans.
nonsense? The
We're not
Giants
gonna
haven't
do
had
the
a comeback
Texans
that
last
big
year.
in 80 years, and all of a sudden, you think
Exactly.
Yep, this was
Exactly.
planned. Perfect.
Exactly.
You know,
It was all
script.
planned. That was the main
script.
reason I said the Giants are going to come back. Is the Cardinals do this? They test it out and they say, "Hey, let's calm down. We need to lose. At the end of the day, we need
They
to
need to
lose."
lose.
Okay.
They're
You know,
not
well,
as an
playoffs anyway.
organization, that's
So what's
like
the
on
point
the
of winning this
whiteboard.
game?
you know, Cardinals play the Cowboys next week, so we're gonna get to see the Cardinals be winning 21-0 at half, and then Dak will come back after.
Well,
that,
no,
right?
the Cardinals won't be better than the Cowboys, even with Caleb Williams or
No,
Marvin
but they're gonna
Harrison
try
Jr.
in the first half.
No,
Well,
no.
I like no,
They'll
don't get me
try,
wrong.
but it won't be enough.
This win does give the Giants confidence, but at the same time, the key development, Sean knows, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
It
that's
went
the
down
issue.
with an ankle injury at the end. The freaking
Oh,
last play.
right.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see what happens, what the X-rays say, because I'm nervous.
It was
He was
on
in
that play
pain.
where he felt like it wasn't.
He-
I mean,
he
it didn't
kinda,
look like
like,
no
twist-
contact, but he
cork
got
twisted.
contorted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just the terrible situation. I mean, hopefully he's okay. You know, not nothing too long term because that we all know this. That's what we were talking about before a little bit. It was like that. My observation of that game is Daniel Jones can do it, but there's still that echo of like you paid him this much money, you're losing by this much right now, and in my head, Saquon's like the leader on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Like if he goes down, the offense ain't gonna work. But yet you paid. You know, I'm not to say quarterback's the most important position, but there's a weird, thing going on there. So.
You know, I have
Yeah.
this guy in fantasy. I have Darren Waller in fantasy. I'm not trying to be biased, but why don't the Giants use him more? Throw him the
I
ball.
don't know.
He can
That's
catch.
what I'm trying to
He can
figure
get
out
open.
too.
It's weird because he was very good on the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's had some injuries. Like I think he had a hamstring injury.
But if he's
He's
playing,
questionable.
he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Look at
playing. Yeah, but
Kelsey.
throw him the ball. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
they gotta throw it to him more.
I wonder how much Jones historically has used tight ends because different quarterbacks
I
have
mean,
just
Jones
different
has
styles,
never
and-
had a good tight end, so
Right.
he never probably
Whoa,
never
whoa,
used him.
whoa.
I just picked up Hunter.
He had
What?
Kyle Rudolph.
Oh, you're right. The freaking
Yeah.
Hall of
And
Fame
Bellinger.
guy. Yep.
Bellinger, Hall of Fame. Two
Now, John,
terrible.
does it concern you at all? Conspiracy theories aside, does this say that the Cardinals are better than we thought? 'Cause I think collectively the consensus in the media was like, "Oh, Cardinals are probably the worst team." Does this make you think the Cardinals are better than we thought they are, or that the Giants are worse or better?
Yeah, I think
because
Worse
they
than
came
we
back-
thought.
I think the Cardinals are slightly better than we thought, but I still think they suck. And the Giants are
Okay.
worse than we thought they were, but they actually turned it on in the second half. Like I think that second half was a good indication of how good those teams actually are.
Like the Giants, I would say have a pretty high ceiling, but they also kind of lowered the floor a
Right?
little bit.
Yeah, I mean they could end
Like
up
the range
losing
of what
all-
you can
yeah,
get.
they could. The range of outcomes
'cause if-
is great.
Yes.
What's
Because those
weird?
comeback winnings are better for a team sometimes. Like the Chiefs winning a lot of close ones probably does more for your championship mentality. They talked about this last year.
Mhm.
Jared, you were saying?
Yeah, it's weird that this Giants team is a lot different than years prior because it seems like this defense is the worst it's ever been in like 3
Oh
years.
well, yeah.
And usually it's like a staple of like Giants. It's like a low scoring game. They keep the opponent like low points. Rush defense is great. And now all of a sudden it feels like they have like no kind of juice on defense. No stars.
Oh
no
yeah, no.
nobody.
Zach Ertz looked like Kelsey out there.
Exactly.
I mean-
And James Conner running all
James
over them.
Conner.
Couldn't even tackle
No.
him. Can't even tackle Dobbs.
No.
Xavier McKinney couldn't even tackle him. He gets right into the end zone. So a lot of weird defensive decisions by the Giants. So like, which is now going to force Jones and Barkley and this whole offense to score even more points.
Yeah.
You're not going to be in those low scoring games anymore. So
Like
if you're going
Lions
to win
of last
games, if you're going to win, Daniel Jones is going to need to rush the ball. He's going to need to pass the ball. He's going to need to do literally everything.
Exactly.
And even tenfold if Barkley's injured, you're screwed.
Oh.
That's going to be awful. But, you got the win. The most important thing is you're going into week 3, not 0-2. You got that one win. They don't ask how, they ask how many, and you got one. So who cares if it's against the Cardinals? One's better than none. Let's go on to, I'm just going to say something quick about the Chargers. This always happens to us. 24-27. We let up the lead with about a minute left, and then Herbert couldn't get us into, he got us into field goal range.
Yeah.
Got it into overtime. We get the ball, go 3 and out. We lose by a field goal by Nick Folk. It is what it is. This is the life of a Chargers fan.
It's the same story over and over again.
Literally,
they're winning the game.
edits
They're
are
leading the
coming
game
back.
in the fourth quarter, and they just go 3 and out because they just want to run it on first, run it on second, incomplete on third, punt it back.
Yep.
Yeah,
and let me tell you, Jonathan, who's on the hot seat now? Who is on the freaking hot seat?
Coach Staley.
Yep.
You guys remember that? I don't know if you guys all watched Drake and Josh, but remember that episode where Josh was done with Drake?
Yeah.
And Drake, at the end of the episode, Drake was like, Josh, I need you way more than you need me.
Oh,
The Chargers need Justin Herbert way more than he needs them. If I was Justin Herbert at this point, his legacy is on the line. He can't keep on, having a team like this that can't win those close games and doesn't go deep in the playoffs. He's too talented for that. So if I was him, I'll be looking around the league to see options.
He just signed
but
like a
Jonathan,
huge deal,
your offensive coordinator Kellen Moore is the one calling plays. So what do you think's going on between Kellen Moore and Staley? Is Staley telling Moore like what to call? Like he's like, just be conservative here.
Yeah, he might be helicoptering.
It's not just the offense
coach.
I think they need to put a better team around him, better coaches, better.
What do you?
The players are good, but like
talented. You got Kellen Moore, offensive court. I mean,
they have to do something.
What's
They're not doing anything. They have the same having the same team year in and year out every few years, and then not being able to cross that hump. I mean, that's an issue. His legacy is online. He's supposed to be one of the greats, but right now he can't be in that conversation with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow because of his team. His team always loses these close games, and so if I was him,
I'm surprised you said
in order to save his legacy, I'd be scattering around and seeing what team needs a quarterback that has a good defense,
Cowboys
coaches.
Goes to the Jets.
That could work. I would mind. He's young.
Surprised he's good.
Jets.
Jets.
That's what I'm talking about, Caleb.
They gave up their whole future just to get Justin Herbert.
I was gonna say they just signed he signed him like a 7-year deal. He's not going anywhere.
He's not.
But
I know. I know you could take last week's edits and then it would still apply pretty much. I'm having flashbacks to those emotions. Like I think Jonathan, I think you hit. I was watching a lot of that game. I mean, through Red Zone and just like the keeping up with it. And Herbert was hitting dimes. He is a good. I mean, we all knew this, but he's a good quarterback. I think. You don't want him to be in the pile of quarterbacks that are very talented, but maybe we're not, utilized to their most ability. Until he has a Super Bowl, his legacy isn't really established. But
Nobody's gonna remember him.
I think at this point, as good as he is, you get a lot of credit for the wins, a lot of pressure for the losses. But I do think it's an overall coaching issue. If you have a quarterback that can place dimes, and how much does he have to carry the defense?
Look,
how much
the run
foundationally
game wasn't working. He was completing every pass to Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. So I don't know why you don't try to throw it a little bit more. I mean, there's a lot of things they could have done, but how does it happen every time?
I mean, we didn't have Eckler today, but what's crazy is that no matter who's on the field, this game goes down to the last second. I no matter if we're up 40-0. I mean, good example, the Jags. We could be up as many points as we possibly can, and yet somehow you creep back.
I'm convinced that if Eckler played in the game today, you still
it would have been
the same thing. It wouldn't. Nothing would have changed. I
think it is a coaching issue at that point, not on Herbert or
it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter.
I just think it's strategically going back to that Raiders game where they could have both tied and they would have both gone to the playoffs.
Caleb looks back at that one moment.
That was 2 years ago.
I think that's the critical moment when you saw as an organization, the coaching status is like doesn't
Should've
see the
fired him
long
then.
term effects. Like I think these stalemates will end up going against them. And I think that was like the first like you look back at
The
that moment,
football
it's like that's
gods
the
were like,
mindset.
no, you don't
Like
do
you're
that.
just gonna
You
make it
screwed
worse for
for
yourself.
the next few
You're like,
years.
why you call a timeout? You know, I thought we were gonna end this together. No,
Yeah,
I think that's the kind of energy that I think acting. You know, I don't think he means to do it, but the way the coaches, Coach Staley's like mind goes, just leads them into those situations because they are good enough to put away games. It doesn't have to be this close every time.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not a hard nosed coach. He's very like, like, oh, yeah, I'll end this in a tie. No, you got to be like, I want to win. Like, screw your tie. We'll agree to a tie, and then I'll cross my fingers behind my back and I'll beat you. Like that's what we need. That's like a Robert Saleh type coach. Like you need someone like that, not someone that's like, oh yeah, we'll take the tie and we'll go into the playoffs together and we'll hold hands. Like no, you need to beat them, but we just don't have that, and it's unfortunate. But I digress. I have a new team now actually. So the Chargers, they're done. I don't like them anymore. New Jersey. It's coming in the mail actually.
What are you?
And it comes with a bottle of Dijon mustard, and it's Bijan Robinson and the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh.
Caleb, your upset pick. They beat the Packers
keep a close eye on that.
24-25. Young Wei
It's a good
Koo,
game.
game-winning kick with about a minute left. They win by 1 point, and this team feels like it's coming together. Drake London had his first touchdown.
Yes.
Bijan Robinson touchdown. Tyler Algier played well. Desmond Ridder actually played pretty well. I mean, his stats will never pop off the page, but he wins games and he fights. He's kind of like a Taylor Heineke, who's the backup for him, but he just does enough to win the game, doesn't lose you the game. Actually had his first turnover in his career, but I love the Falcons right now. I love the run game that they got going on. They got some star receivers, obviously Pitts and Drake London, just in case they got to pass the ball. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like as long as Art Smith doesn't screw this up, like he's got some talented players. He's got a great line. Grady Jarrett and Calais Campbell have a great D line there. So teams aren't really running the ball that well. AJ Dillon for the Packers didn't have a great game. I love the Falcons right now. They're 2-0. I called them to win the division, and I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but I'm seeing this team rise up.
It's funny you say that because I was actually coming with the same thoughts. Like, I mean, they're an NFC team, so it's always the Eagles if it comes down to it. But watching the Falcons, it was fun today, and it's
you like
obviously
cheering for a fellow bird.
Yeah, it's in the blood, genetically, and I think, but like they are. I did say this during the draft day, like when they got Bijan Robinson, I was a little upset because the Eagles might have gotten him, but I was like, I didn't see what their vision was, and I think it still remains to be seen. But they're 2-0 now, and you're seeing the fruits of it. Like, watching some of that game, they chose to go for it on fourth rather than play it safe, and they converted. So having a team that can execute and have the courage to do that, I was like, all right, this is a team that's not just going to win games, but actually like have fun doing it. And they have a special player in Bijan Robinson. You can watch him break through tackles. I mean, it's just he might be Barkley-esque and his own brand, going forward for the Falcons. And like you said, I think Ridder, watching him play, it's like I kind of agree. I wouldn't call him a game manager, but I don't know if there's a word, but game manager plus, where he has that aggression that you don't always see.
His rushing ability is really the X factor. Like that's that step that if you're not an elite passer, but you can run the ball efficiently, he slides, like he does everything right. From that perspective, you're going to keep the defense on your toes, and then you have a really a great dynamic offense.
Plus, you can show heart. Like if you're in that position and people know, like, oh, you're not the biggest threat throwing, but you can be because you saw London catch a pass or two. Like they have receiving talent. I think last year a lot of fantasy people were disappointed that Pitts wasn't as good as they thought he could be, but he's got that ceiling potentially. So it's like you have weapons that can maximize what Ridder can do. So they're building off what was our good run game, which is why I wasn't sure what their vision for the draft was when they got Robinson, but they're clearly building around him. And, they have Young Wei and he's turned out great. I mean, we've known him since, I think, because of you, Jared, I think I recall you got him. Incredible his story, right? Because he got cut at one point and now he's one of the most consistent kickers in the league. So, fair play to him. So get that game winner.
Now, okay, I do like the Falcons, like you guys. Okay. You guys have been touting them, but what I see the problem is is when they play a team that has a good run defense. And guess what? And this is why they're not going to win the division, is because the Buccaneers and the Saints are two of the top 5 run defenses in the NFL, along with the 49ers, Titans, Patriots are in that vicinity as well. And when they play this, they got to play the Saints twice. They got to play the Bucs twice. When the run game is not working, what's going to happen? And I don't think we're going to have to see that for a while because they have easy games coming up. They play the Lions next week. They're going to play the Texans. So it's pretty easy for now. But I'm looking mid-season. They're going to play the Buccaneers and the Titans back-to-back. That's going to be very tough. I want to see how Ritter steps up in that scenario. But I do agree that they do look good. And it was really impressive coming down from 24-12 going into the fourth quarter, and they score 13 points to win 25-24. So very impressive. I won't take that away from him. I'm just saying in terms of division winning and future success, I want to see how he develops as a passer.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on the other side, I think a lot of people overhyped Jordan Love after that first week. But now we know that it was because the Bears were that bad. I mean, he's not bad.
No,
but
Love threw
people
another
were saying
3 touchdowns.
Like he threw, 3 touchdowns. He had
he was
14 to
good.
25.
I was in the mindset of you, like in that, because he had the ball last, I believe. He had 10 seconds. I was like, in that, or a 40, he got a chance to make a comeback. And I was like, in this moment, this is where we get to see that clutchness that we've gotten spoiled. The Packers have gotten spoiled with Favre and Rodgers. And I'm not saying he can't ever do it, but that was a moment where I was like, all right,
Still
he's done good.
Development.
He's done good today. Yeah. And I think he's better than you get more of a sample size. But Jonathan, continue.
Yeah, they didn't have Aaron Jones either. So, that was a big missing piece that, the Falcons may have gotten a little lucky. It's better to be lucky than good. But, and Aaron Jones not there, that kind of helped them out. They didn't have a versatile running back,
Love wasn't bad, but Jonathan, you were saying, though?
Yeah. So I'm saying he still has some development. People were like, oh, man, we already have our Aaron Rodgers and all that. Like, there was a lot of overreactions after week 1, but now we're starting to see that this guy he's about average right now.
If he was another Aaron Rodgers, he would have won the game on that last drive. That would be Aaron Rodgers-esque.
Yeah.
He still has a chance to do it, but that was a sample size. That would have been data into the sample size.
Yeah.
To use statistics. And that's a moment that you don't get often, But he did do well, He was hitting some, they got something there. We'll see if he's got the intangibles that I think Rodgers has,
Let's move on to a divisional game. Ravens versus Bengals.
Oh gosh.
This one's going to spark some debate because Jonathan.
I'm curious for you guys, Stan.
Oh man, I think everybody picked Bengals to win the division, AFC North. But
wait,
Jonathan,
did I?
No, I was going to say, but
okay.
Jonathan, hold on.
Hey,
relax.
This doesn't change anything.
I'll make it graphic.
I'm just saying the Ravens now 2-0. Bengals 0-2. They finally got on the board with a touchdown, thank goodness. And T. Higgins caught 2 passes, so he went from a goose egg to almost 30 points, fantasy points.
Should have been Chase's though.
But yet again, Chase non-existent the past 2 weeks.
Every fantasy pick I get.
It's crazy. I don't know. You're just unlucky with fantasy, I guess. But let's see. The Ravens 27-24 in Cincinnati. Jonathan, just give me your thoughts. I mean, look, the Bengals, once again, 2 years in a row, they start 0-2. Now, last year, make the AFC Championship and won the division. This year, is it possible, or do you see something different?
I see something different. Apparently, the Cincinnati fans, were booing the Bengals off the field. Okay, that's something you do in Philly. But
you're right. We'll do it even when we're winning.
Y'all saw the last game of the Eagles.
Yeah,
and
so you're not wrong there.
Apparently, Cincinnati, their offense has had 17 possessions this regular season, but they failed to score a touchdown. That's an issue. 17 and 0 touchdowns,
something like that. Yeah, like in the game they mentioned that too.
Yeah. So 9 of those possessions, were apparently 3 and outs. There's an issue with the offense. I don't know. I don't think they've changed the offensive coordinator. They still have T. Higgins. They still have Jamar Chase and all these superstars. I mean, they obviously still have Joe Burrow. He thankfully threw over 200 yards rather than last game where he threw under 100. So that's good. But there's something not clicking. There's something going on. I don't know if Joe Burrow is scared he's going to get hurt, so he's not, making the plays that he should. I don't know what the issue is, but this is not the same Bengals team, and believe me, they're not going to win this division.
Oh my gosh!
Okay? They're not going to win this division.
How often do we go through this about the Bengals? When
Every
are you just going to realize that they're going to be fine?
Okay, fine. Let me rephrase. Unless Lamar Jackson gets injured again, Bengals are not going to win this division. They get lucky. Sometimes some of it's luck, and that's why they win, right? Lamar Jackson gets hurt
If the ball lands your way, there is always that element, you know.
And guys, we keep on forgetting this. In the playoffs, the Ravens were this close to winning the game and sending the Bengals
they
home.
weren't even close at all.
Dude,
they were a yard away.
What yard away?
That's a long way. I mean,
Tyler Huntley.
That is long.
All Tyler Huntley had to do, the offense had to do that Eagles play where that rugby play, everybody just lines up.
Push.
Just do that. But he tried to get it over.
Look, the Bengals are going to be fine, guys.
Should not.
They play the Rams next week at home, which is actually going to be a tough game because the Rams are playing well.
The Bengals? You said the Bengals play the Rams?
Yeah, that's a tough.
Puka Nacua.
It is tough.
Puka Nacua.
That'll be a good game.
But
Puka
then
Nacua.
they play the Titans, they play the Cardinals, they play the Seahawks. That's
the receiver.
That's 3-0 right there.
Oh,
No.
you guys have these nicknames.
You said the Rams?
No, that's
You
his
said the
actual
Titans?
name.
Rams,
No,
Titans,
great, good for him.
Seahawks, Cardinals. That's at least 4
Rams?
4-1. 3-1.
No. Rams, Titans, Seahawks? That's like 0-3
Jonathan,
right there.
come
0-5.
on.
Dude,
If
that's
they
scary.
play
This
the
is
way they
AFC
have, I'd actually.
Championship Bengals.
Dude,
If they play the same way, though, I would side with
But
Jonathan.
they're
I
not.
think
We know
they
this team
changed,
is.
though.
They were
Every-
0-2 last year. We can't
I know.
don't
Just magically-
overreact. Don't be foolish.
No.
So
yeah,
they're
I'm not-
actually going to change
Yes, they said they did last year.
they do every time. But that's my angle is if they play the same as they did the first and second game, then I'll side with Jonathan. But my argument is more almost like with Staley having Herbert and those weapons around him, and then Taylor having, if Burrow's as good as we say and chasing those weapons, like how many times can you get to that almost point? And it's like, will we see that? I don't know. Like, I think if is it good long-term strategy for the Bengals franchise that every season you start off pretty poorly and then you figure it out and then you start, getting it going? Like, is that sustainable? Because I think Burrow's taking hits that every year. I mean, they're trying to get him help, and I think it's improved, but he can't keep taking hits the way he does. I don't think he's scared of the ball, but I mean, where's the protection to let him do other stuff? Where's the run game? And it's like, how many years of this till you start to see a decrease or it's going to catch up to you? Like, I don't think it's great that you start off this badly every year. That's kind of more my angle. I do think they will improve. I think they have a team that can do it, but
And they
until
lost to division rivals.
until they win it. Yeah. I mean, it's a big, it's early, but these will come back to bite you later on.
Exactly.
So it's not determinative of how the whole season will go. We know this because of history, but my thinking is just, what are you guys doing every offseason that, like, all right, we start off, this is our game plan, the first game, 3 games in, all right, we got to change something. Something's not like, but more so than other teams, it would feel like. I don't know if that's true, but it makes me wonder about the, the coaching situation over there or Burrow's protection or what they're able to do.
It's a little concerning yet again. Joe Mixon, only 59 rushing yards. Their rush game is just non-existent. It's one of the worst. And again, it affects the passing. I mean, if people are just going to drop back and cover the pass and they still can stop Joe Mixon, only rushing like 4 people, not even stacking the box, then you're not going to be able to throw the ball. So you got to increase your run game. But unfortunately, they got rid of Samaje Perine, their backup. Chris Evans today was injured. Not that he does that much, but like it's another back. So they still have yet to find a solid back behind Joe Mixon. And Caleb, like you were saying on an earlier podcast, it's starting to be like a committee backfield league now, where you have like 2 backs per team, and they kind of just alternate so that one doesn't get too tired. Seems like Mixon just doesn't have enough breaks or doesn't have a good enough backup to take a long break without having to jump back in there, and he's just not producing either. But overall,
that's just an excuse.
I think Bengals are fine.
You said, what was that, Jonathan?
That's just an excuse. There's a lot of things you can do to counteract a bad running team. The quick game, that's what it's for. Screens to Jamar Chase, like every few plays. He's the best athlete. Throw him the ball. They don't do that.
Broncos got killed by screens.
I don't think they're doing that yet. It's not that desperate. We're only 2 games in.
I mean, these are again division rivals, Browns and the Ravens. You lose like that, that's going to come
True,
back to bite you. Like
true.
Caleb
It
said.
does
True.
matter. But do you guys like? I think Mixon's a great running back, and I do believe he has that ceiling. But watching some of it, like, is he that kind of ground and pound kind of player? He's almost, I would say, he's probably more pass receiving
Yeah.
oriented. You
I would
know,
say the
like I
same.
think they,
His prime is done. He's past his prime.
I think he can still be good, but watching it, I think like I would look at the Bills committee where like they have running backs that can at least penetrate the line and you know keep the run game honest versus like when you see a certain back, like, oh, it's probably a pass play. He's probably a receiving option. Like I don't know if they have a guy or if Mixon's enough of a run threat that's like, okay, we got to bring our safeties in a little bit. You know, if he can make those 20 yards run, because I think that's what makes the committee field work. I mean, you see it really well with the Eagles. Now the Eagles have a great offensive line that opens up a lot of things, which might be part of the problem with the Bengals.
That'll
but
also be part of it. The Bengals' offensive line is not good either.
and they've gotten him help though. So it's
We've
like,
said
what
this
about?
we've said this
like,
every year. Like
I know they
But
they
it's
got
true,
guys
it's
for him.
not
So
that
at
good.
this point, is it the same offensive line coach? Like they gotta? Are they?
Well, they just
drafting
put
talent?
like Lilo Collins on the IR or something. So like their
Yeah.
starting left tackle is out. So
It does suck sometimes. But
and it was
what's-
Jonathan. It was a little cold in Cincinnati. How do you expect Burrow to throw the ball? It's a little chilly.
it's
It-
funny. There's so many excuses for Joe Burrow every time something doesn't go his way. But if it was like Patrick Mahomes or somebody else or Dak Prescott, oh yeah, Dak sucks. Oh, Patrick Mahomes is not good. Guys, let's stop making excuses for Joe Burrow and this Bengals offense. They played bad. They're playing bad, and they better fix it quickly.
Are we gonna stop making excuses about the Cowboys?
I mean, the Cowboys are pretty dominant right now.
Yeah, but
I
when
don't think-
they lose, we can't make excuses.
Dude, we're talking about patterns here. I mean, no, the Cowboys do look legit. The Cowboys do look legit, but this is also kind of, no offense, Jonathan, like how it goes every year where we start off, the Cowboys start really good. Like, we them boys, this is our year.
But like this,
blow out
Like
opponents.
this
It
is
seems-
different. We've never seen
I know,
anything
no,
like
you
this. in
guys
the
have a
Cowboys.
good team, but like it's like a
Caleb,
little bit Chargers.
that's a
like,
great
we're gonna win
point.
those games.
That's a great point. Would you rather be the Bengals who start off slow and always end up high, or do you start with the Cowboys who start high and go down? I mean, let's
Yeah,
talk about that
Jonathan,
game.
That's a good point because the Bengals usually end up having a better year than the Cowboys in the end.
At the end of the day, at the beginning of the morning,
They get lucky.
Oh
Hey, if
god!
Jalen Hurts. I mean, I don't wish injury on anybody, but Jalen Hurts, if they got injured and stuff, sure. But Lamar Jackson, reigning MVP, previous MVP a couple years ago, he got injured. That
Jonathan,
changes
at the
things.
end of the day, the Cowboys.
And he's going against Kenny Pickett. Backup
Deshaun
Ravens.
Watson,
Who
he's
else?
got to go up against.
I mean, I'm talking about last year.
Oh.
Last year, Deshaun was still rusty, so it was a cakewalk for him. He should
Jonathan,
have
but
won
the
that one.
Cowboys, at the end of the day, you're going to have to beat the 49ers, which you can't do.
yeah, it's
All
true.
right, no, we're laughing now,
True.
but it's not. Purdy's been playing better than
Purdy is the guy.
He didn't
But-
play this. He didn't play
Purdy
that well
is
today.
the man.
But they're winning.
I think
I'm not,
Purdy
He
is
played
the
really
man.
bad today. No,
Sorry,
he
Caleb.
played. He played really.
they might
bad.
have found their franchise. I don't know. I don't know if
No.
they found their franchise guy, but he's been
No.
playing well. Like, hats off.
He was
I don't think we saw
awful.
enough.
was
Awful.
awful
What are you
today.
talking about?
Didn't he run it in? For
Dude,
They are-
he gets so much credit, but like
So
Christian,
much.
Christian McCaffrey,
Why are you making
Deebo Samuel,
excuses?
all these.
He's just good.
No, like come on, he has like
I'm
he
a
has so
little
much
bit with,
talent around him. Like
you have
well, they plugged in.
Pollard
You
and
plug in
CD.
Garoppolo. You put in Garoppolo, you make it to the Super Bowl. What is it? You put in Purdy, you make it to the. Like it is a bit of a plug and play.
exactly.
Not like you can put in any scrub to do it. Garoppolo, Purdy,
Let's
those
see.
guys are good quarterbacks. But I don't think you can. Like it is more of a team that's very well rounded. Fair play.
It's I personally think that Purdy is massively overrated.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no.
And it's insane to call someone who's the last pick in the draft overrated, but he really is. He really is overrated. People are just infatuated by Brock Purdy and his minimal skill level.
Minimal.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I mean, it
confidence
is
the
like,
thing that
oh
you
my
need, and he's got
gosh.
it.
He
I don't
threw a
dislike him.
screen
Bro had
to
Bro had
Ayuk.
200. Dude, what does this guy have to do? 220 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first game. 210 yards and a touchdown in this game. Winning games.
That's not a lot.
It's
That's
not a
not.
lot.
That's not
Look at the
good.
plays.
They-
Look
no,
at
the
the-
win is what matters. That's the stat.
What's
And
the
confidence.
Chargers record?
Dude, Herbert is a way better quarterback
No,
than Brock
honestly,
Purdy.
Oh yeah,
Purdy's better
Wins
than Dak.
wins are
Purdy's better
not
than
a quarterback
Dak.
stat.
Purdy's better than Herbert.
Wins are not a
Ah,
quarterback stat.
dude. Yeah, wins are
I
not
don't know.
quarterback stat.
I need
He
to
does
draw
the
it
simple
up, the
plays,
greater
like
than
Jared
one.
said. those little slow screens and all that, and he gets credit for that. I mean, it's kind of annoying. Yes, he does the basic stuff, but like, let's not get carried away and say he's better than Herbert or
definitely better than Dak. I can say that.
I think
He's
as
average
an
at
Eagles fan, the criticism people put on Hurts being like, oh, he's doing so well because he's on a good team. I think it's more applicable to Purdy than it is to Hurts because you need a good team to win games. What are we talking about? Like, it's not just Herbert's probably better than Purdy, but like they're 0-2. Like, you do need a good team. But I do think it's I'm not saying he's bad. I do like him. I was just surprised that they moved on from their pick. Like the organizationally. It's I think confidence is the hardest thing to get as a quarterback. So if you have it, no matter where you are and you're winning games, like that's what matters at the end of the day. So if they have their franchise guy, it doesn't really matter. It's that team is suited to move on from Garoppolo and then get a Purdy and like still potentially contend, and they're playing very well. So we'll see, but I'm not ruling them out though.
Yeah, I do think the Cowboys can beat the 49ers today because of our defense. 49ers have a good defense, don't get me wrong, but I think Micah Parsons is more of a force. He's probably the best defensive player in the league right now. I don't think you can stop him if you're on the 49ers offense.
Yeah, the Cowboys played the Jets. They won 10-30. Look,
It's
we
possible.
talked about Zach Wilson.
No, you can't do that. I knew you were going to do that. No,
and I had to bring it up.
Zach
Jonathan.
Wilson's just not good.
You can't blame the
Did
guy.
you see his interceptions? Oh,
dude, the Cowboys defense is good. What do you want me to do?
no, it's
So
not.
you still
Garrett
trying his
Wilson
best.
had a 68-yard touchdown. He's
Garrett
the one
Wilson's
guy.
good.
He's the one guy you have to cover.
No, Garrett
You guys
Wilson.
can't even
Wilson's
cover
good.
the one guy.
He did that in
Garrett
a
Wilson's elite.
cave with a box of scraps.
One guy is the only guy that could score.
So wait a minute. Jonathan. So you're saying that Zach Wilson's performance wasn't because he was bad; it's because the Cowboys' defense is good.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So now,
It's not easy. It's not
so
easy.
what's the next Jets game? I'm gonna look it up right now. So the Jets' next game is against the Patriots.
Okay.
That's another
All right,
great.
So
defense.
hold on. Okay,
Okay.
if
Bill
Zach Wilson
Belichick.
throws 2 interceptions against the Patriots, then boom, it's Zach Wilson. Cowboys just aren't good.
Zach next week. No, Zach will. The Jets. I think the Jets will beat the Patriots.
Oh God!
Exactly.
All
Okay.
right, actually,
All right.
You know what? I'm daring you to pick him as an upset then.
Well, you got 2
We'll
days
see.
to decide. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. But I'm telling you from today, I knew a lot of you guys were going to say, "Oh, Zach Wilson. Cut him some slack." This
Dude,
Cowboys
there's no
defense is-
time. This is like his
I'm
8th
just-
freaking start.
I'm so
Hey, I'll
fascinated.
tell you, I
by
watched
your
the game.
defense
You
of him.
watched it?
Yeah, I watched the game. I watched the game from start to finish. I felt bad for him. Micah Parsons was coming at him and hitting him hard. I thought he was going to get injured.
Lawrence.
I thought eventually.
I-
I thought eventually he was going to get injured. I was like, all right, I feel bad for the guy. It's not his fault. I mean, what can you do? What can you do?
No,
I think they were
it
missing
is-
Rodgers
it is a
though,
good
because they had
fight.
a great. They had the Jets defense was like I think for a while keeping the Cowboys somewhat honest. It's a tough defense to play against. I think Wilson being in the shadow of Rodgers that's tough. But and that watching some of that game, I was like, yeah, they are missing a guy like Rodgers keeping that defense honest in regards to the Cowboys defense. So. Does he have it in him? I don't know. I'm just fascinated, Jonathan, that you like him so much. I never knew this about you. It's not even that I disagree or agree. It's just
You just
I
want to
didn't know
give him
you
a
liked
fair
him.
shot, I guess.
Yeah,
Where's this
because
coming from? He
Yeah,
has no
'cause
Texas connection.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not. I don't think it's fair to judge him off of this game with probably the top 2 defense in the NFL today. Let's wait till he faces the Patriots, maybe. Okay, then if he throws like 2 or 3 interceptions, okay, fine. We have to start talking about it. But he beat the Bills last week. Okay,
No,
he beat the Bills
Jets
fair and square.
defense beat the Bills.
I don't think.
No. See? See what I'm saying? So when they win, it's the Jets defense. When they lose, it's Zach Wilson.
No,
See how it's
but
unfair?
that's the truth.
The stats, the numbers don't lie.
yeah, I
He
mean-
had a terrible game. I think what his problem is he is not emotionally stable. I
What
feel
do
like
you
every
see him?
time
Is he crying on the sideline?
every
What?
every time I see him
Where's
on the
everyone's
sideline, every time I see him on the sideline, you guys know this too. They'll show him on the sideline after like either a bad play or a good play, and the receiver like Garrett Wilson, Lazard comes over and is like, "You okay, buddy? All right, you're gonna be okay. Like, hey, it's 1 interception, it's okay." Or if it's a good play, they'll be like, "There you go, man. Now the pressure's on them. Keep it up, man. Keep it up."
They
And
always
it's
gotta
like,
hype
dude,
him up.
the quarterback's supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have all your other players be like, "Hey, can you talk to Zach? He's feeling a little down. For this next drive, we really got to score. So like, can you get his 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 feelings up a little bit because he's just not feeling it right now. Oh yeah, coach, send Garrett Wilson over. He's gonna give him a high five and tell him he's great. No, like every time he's on the sideline, there is somebody there like consulting him and being like, "Oh yeah, it's okay, buddy. Like you're gonna be okay. That was just, you know what? That was on me. That was on me. It's okay. It wasn't on you, buddy. That's okay."
Toddler, dude. He's young, but he's
exactly. He's not. He's a grown man with about 10 starts in the NFL. It's over. It's over. He's done. He has reached his max potential, and his max potential is bad.
Zach Wilson?
Jonathan's like, we're still talking about him?
Yeah, like, dude, come on.
I'm fascinated by both your. That's a whole dialogue that I feel like I did not. I'm not saying you fabricated the script, Jared. Like,
look at the film. Every time Lazard or Garrett Wilson are like, "It's okay, buddy. It's all right. That was on me. That was on me. Don't worry about you. Don't get down on me." I see that tear. The quarterback is supposed to go to the receiver who just dropped the ball and be like, "Hey, that was on me." The quarterback is the leader. He's supposed to command the offense, say, "That's on me. Don't feel bad. It's on me. Like I'm the leader of this offense, not the receivers coming in saying it's okay, buddy. It's all right. That wasn't a bad ball. It was close to me. It was it was a little over my head, but it's okay. I should have jumped higher. It's okay." No, and that's the problem. Not only he doesn't have the tangibles, but he doesn't have the intangibles either. He doesn't have nothing. All he has is he's pretty good looking, probably top 10 in the league. But
is that where this is coming from?
I think you guys are just being too hard on this guy. It's been 2 games. The first game he won. The second game he went against the probably top 2 defense in the NFL. It's too early to judge. Y'all still thinking about last year.
I'm with you on that, Jonathan. I just don't know why Jared and Jonathan, why you're both so
look.
pro
The reality is
passionate.
If this man was very, very good at being a quarterback, it would just be unfair because this guy would be like the perfect specimen of a man. So you got to have something bad. And unfortunately, God was like, he's an average quarterback, top tier looking lad, but he's an average quarterback. And that's it. Like you can't have both. You can't have both.
Women as well, Jared.
Huh?
That's my only impression of Wilson is that he's competitive, which is a good thing, and like the meme that he's.
Oh yeah, he is into older women
allegedly.
Look, he's got everything else. He's rich already. Like, if it's okay,
personal, dude. It's fine.
If you're not good at being a quarterback, it's okay. You're literally the hottest person in the NFL, next to maybe Jimmy G. Look at Jimmy Garoppolo. He's like top tier guy, average quarterback. You can't have both. Who is both? Mahomes, best quarterback, looks like a frog. It's just how it works. That's just how it works.
Disrespectful. I don't know if I like the direction.
Tom Brady had work done, so it doesn't count. Brady had work done.
We're adding a lot of narratives where I don't think there are many.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers is coming back to the building in a few weeks, and that's when you'll start to see Zach Wilson continue to gain that confidence.
Did you hear that Rodgers could be
I thought you were going to say Aaron.
I mean, he didn't count it out, but
yeah, it's not.
He's kind of old.
I don't.
Yeah, and last thing, I know it was Thursday, but what I said about Hurts is kind of true, I guess, right?
What? No, wait,
he's not all the way there in terms of passing IQ, football IQ. Yes,
no.
Y'all saw that? That's why they literally ran it like 85% of the game
because they were winning by so much.
And I said this. That Swift is that kind of running back.
Swift was having a great game. Why would you try to throw it?
If your guys get 10 yards to carry, you don't. Why? Plus, Hurts got 2 rushing touchdowns.
He threw an interception after that. You didn't see him thrown again. Right?
I mean, it makes sense. If Pollard's having 120 yards on the ground, 150 yards, you're going to throw it with Dak? No.
Yeah, but you're always supposed to mix it up.
Not if it's getting 10 yards every play.
The only teams that really haven't seen mix it up, that game against the Bills, those Patriots and Bills, right? They only ran it, or they only. I think they ran it all game, right?
I think it was
three times. Yeah. So that's what it was like. I was like, oh, they don't trust Jalen Hurts anymore. And anytime they called a passing play, he'd get freaked out and start to run and rush. Guys,
Devontae Smith went off as well.
When he plays a good defense like the Cowboys, you guys will see this. I've said it. I'm calling it now.
Devontae Smith was as of this recording was 7th in the league for this week.
Oh, thank you, Caleb. You said Devontae. What about AJ Brown?
I know.
That's my point.
You don't know where they're going to.
They're fighting on the sideline.
Fighting on the sidelines. He's not getting the ball.
No. They sucked after the game. They were cool. Jalen Hurts is actually, I think, Brown's daughter's godfather. So they're close.
Oh. Wait, say that again. Jalen Hurts is AJ Brown's dog's godfather.
No, offspring to child. I think it's a daughter.
Oh, okay.
They're a daughter, whatever. No, so they're very close, and apparently that was just that's they it's all cool.
And
But like you're saying, Jared, you want your quarterback to be like the calm leader, and your receivers to want to win. You see that with Diggs and Allen a little bit. You kind of want that.
Exactly. You need Hurts is the guy to say, "Hey, chill out. I got it."
Yeah, right.
But you guys
Jason Kelsey is like, it's better when they're arguing than when guys don't talk to each other.
The problem was they were winning. So
But
why was AJ Brown mad?
AJ Brown
he
got a couple,
wants the ball.
He got a touchdown, get called back because Penny had holding or whatever. So it's like I think that's actually the highlight of why the Eagles do well. Is they could kill you with Swift, as we talked about last week, or a variety of running backs. And then it was Devontae Smith's day. Next week it's Brown's turn. You never know.
Yeah, honestly, Jonathan, I have high hopes. I have high hopes for Jalen Hurts, and I believed in him wholeheartedly from the moment he stepped on the field. Jonathan is not telling 100% false things right now. I'm just saying that it's not 100%. And Caleb, you know too, he hasn't been playing his best.
We're shaking the rust off, but like the way we talk about Hurts is probably more accurate to how Purdy should be looked at. But we don't talk about Purdy that way.
How long should we shake the rust off, guys? It's week 2. We had preseason. We've had all off seasons. How long should the rust be shaken off?
Well, we see the Bengals still do pretty well.
I would say till like week 15, you're shaking rust off.
It's early. It's early, but I think Jonathan saying that isn't just completely coming out of left field and saying like, yeah, Hurts is just bad. At first I took that, but then after seeing this game and the last game he played, passing has just not been there. It was kind of like last year where you were waiting for that time where he would explode in a huge passing game, and it didn't happen all the way up until like literally the Super Bowl, and he just exploded. Now now they're back to normal again, which is fine. That's it. You win games. The goal is to win the game. So if they're winning all this time, it's fine. But I will say that Hurts has been a little underwhelming for me personally recently. It's 2 games in. It's nothing to abandon ship. But
I think they changed the offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah, you guys lost all your
both
coordinators.
Yeah, and so even tying into the Chiefs, how it was low scoring. People saying Eric Bieniemy had nothing to do with the play calling last year. Now we can put that to bed because he obviously did. This offense hasn't been clicking like they did last year, right?
Yeah,
and I know it's the first couple weeks, but like, yeah, it didn't look like that high scoring offense that we usually see from the Chiefs. So
right.
Hopefully, I've got
Commanders are 2-0 as well, so it's an interesting storyline in itself.
Yeah.
But the new offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, I've got his name. He used to be the head coach for the Bears.
Matt Nagy.
But Matt Nagy.
Oh.
Hopefully he can help turn things around. But
yeah, I think he's part of the Andy Reid coaching tree. I mean, he would be by now, but I think even before the Bears, yeah.
He's terrible. All right, I think that'll conclude our instant reactions week 2. We're going to go on and watch the Dolphins and Patriots now. Hopefully that's going to be an exciting game, but the Dolphins will win. Right, John?
Yeah.
What?
Really?
I mean, Caleb said it.
Why was that at
4-0
John?
against, so it's done.
Why'd you target John, though? Was this
he picked
Patriots as
the
my
Patriots.
upset.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so, wow, okay. All right, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and go over onto TikTok and Instagram at Don't Wait Podcast and throw us a follow over on there. And if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave us 5-star review. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week.